I used to think that losing weight was the hard part, but actually for me, keeping it off was way harder. For almost 10 years, I'd lose 10 or 15 pounds and finally feel like I figured this weight loss thing out, only then to regain it all back. I'm also a personal trainer and nutrition coach, and over the last 5 years, I have seen the same exact thing happen to many of my clients. And if you didn't know, studies do show that people who lose a significant amount of weight will regain more than half of it within just 2 years. So yeah, this is a struggle that a lot of us share, but I don't think that it has to be that way. In this video, I'm going to be sharing the 5 habits that finally helped me maintain my results without going back to square one every single time. So if you too have ever felt like losing weight is one thing, but keeping it off is an entirely different battle, then I think that this video is for you. Habit number 1 is probably my biggest non-negotiable when it comes to maintaining my health and my body weight. Back when I was trying to lose weight, I thought that workouts were pretty much the only thing that mattered. I felt like because I was training hard in the gym 4 or 5 days a week, that what I was doing was enough. But what I didn't realize was that outside of those workouts, I was barely moving. I remember specifically around the time that I finished college and I was searching for jobs, I would spend a lot of time on my laptop or in bed just watching Netflix. And maybe I'd leave the house here and there to run a few errands, but that was basically it. Realistically, I was only spending about 3% of my entire week intentionally moving my body, which meant that I was burning way fewer calories than I could have been. During my last intentional fat loss phase, I decided to set myself a goal of hitting at least 8,000 steps per day. Not only was it incredible for my mental health, but it helped me lose weight without feeling like I had to do endless amounts of cardio or slash my calories super low. I wasn't perfect every single day, but just having that baseline movement goal for myself helped me be way more consistent. I knew that I was getting in some activity even on the days that I wasn't going to the gym and working out. I've kept this habit going since I finished my diet, and I've been able to maintain my weight for the last 7 months. So if you're relying only on workouts to drive your results, maybe try setting a daily movement target. I think it's also really important to say that you don't have to jump straight to 8,000 to 10,000 steps overnight. I would start by figuring out your current daily average, then add about 2,000 steps to that number. Then once you're able to hit that number consistently, then you could gradually increase your target as you feel ready. That one simple habit alone can make maintaining your results feel so much more effortless and sustainable. Before we move on, I just wanted to take the next 15 seconds to tell you about my beginner-friendly resistance training program, which is called Strong and Lean Foundations. It's a 6-week plan designed to help you build muscle, get stronger, and feel more confident without having to do an extreme diet or spend hours in the gym. And for the first 100 people who pick up the program, you'll also get my flexible dieting guide and high-protein recipe book totally free. I'm going to drop the link in the description for that program if you guys want to check it out. Habit number 2 was learning to build most of my meals around whole, nutrient-dense foods, especially high in protein and fiber. I spent so many years bouncing between super restrictive diets and then also the complete opposite, which was basically eating whatever was convenient and fit into my calories. Technically, both approaches can work, and I'm sure you've seen them work for either yourself or others, but for me, it did not feel sustainable. When I was too strict, I would end up craving everything that I had cut out my diet for weeks, and then I would end up rebounding. And then when I was too relaxed, my meals were mostly super processed foods that didn't keep me full or make me feel that great. During my last diet, I finally took the time to prepare my meals at home, and I made sure each of them contained a high-quality protein source and some kind of fruit, vegetable, or legume. So just like setting a daily step goal made movement feel more effortless and enjoyable, eating a mostly nutrient-dense, minimally processed diet did the same thing for my nutrition. I noticed that I wasn't as hungry between meals even while I was on a diet, and that my cravings had diminished quite a bit, so staying in my calorie range was a lot easier for me. Even now, it's made maintaining my weight feel so much more effortless, to the point where I rarely have to track my food just to stay on track. So if you're noticing that you're always hungry, or you notice a significant decrease in how good you feel after you eat food, it might be time to look at the quality of the foods you're eating and not just the quantity. Aiming for minimally processed foods that are high in fiber or protein can help make you feel more satiated and make being consistent easier in the long run. It will most likely make you feel better too, especially from a digestive or energy standpoint. And you don't have to be perfect with this. I still eat plenty of foods that aren't considered clean, but I do think that having most of your diet built around these staples can make a huge difference. Habit number 3 is eating on the weekends almost the same exact way that I eat on the weekdays, but just with a little bit more built-in flexibility. I truly don't think that I could stress enough how much weekends held me back on my weight loss journey. And now that I'm saying it out loud, it honestly might be the most impactful change that I made. I was almost always able to stay on track Monday through Thursday, but then when the weekend would roll around, I would use food and alcohol to decompress. And then I just remember Sunday night feeling so bloated, so exhausted, and just kind of guilty about everything that I did during the weekend. And I would give myself, honestly, the worst Sunday scaries because I'd be like, don't worry, we're just gonna start fresh on Monday. But that cycle just kept getting repeated over and over for years. The first thing that I did was reduce my alcohol intake significantly, which made my life better pretty much all around. But it also made weight loss way more obtainable for me because I wasn't consuming a lot of calories from alcohol anymore. And then also, I would just usually follow up those kinds of nights with a lot of eating of greasy foods afterwards. So cutting all of that out made a huge difference for me. I also made sure that I was still having a nutrient-dense breakfast and lunch, even on the nights that I knew I was gonna go out, so that I didn't find myself starving at 11 p.m. anymore. And now when I do go out for pizza or ice cream or whatever it is, it's usually planned and not impulsive. So I've made it a part of my plan, which helps me better enjoy it without feeling like I ruined all my progress. So if weekends are somewhere where you struggle the most, try approaching them with a little bit more thought and structure. Keep your core habits in place. Stay hydrated, eat enough protein, eat balanced meals, and then make a little room for the fun stuff so you don't feel like you have to start over every Monday. Habit number 4 is taking regular weight maintenance phases after a period of dieting. For years, I would push every diet as far as I possibly could. Even if I hit my initial goal, I'd be like, maybe I could just lose 5 more pounds. And every single time, that approach would seriously backfire. I would end up feeling so burnt out by the diet I was doing and how long I took it that I would eventually rebound and regain all of the weight that I just lost because I never gave my mind or my body a break from the diet. I used to think that maintenance was like pressing pause on a good thing. Like if I was losing weight, why would I stop now? But now I see that it's actually where a lot of the most important work happens. During maintenance, I finally had time to practice keeping the weight off without feeling deprived, to build strength in the gym and to build more muscle, and to solidify all of the habits that I just worked so hard to create. Instead of being on a diet that felt like it pretty much never ended, I learned to take a step back and maintain my results and just let my body recover. And like I mentioned earlier, it was also a major mental reset for me because months and months of restricting food and feeling hungry could really start to take a toll on you. If you've always felt like you have to do one long, drawn-out diet, or you have to jump into back-to-back cuts to reach your goals, I promise that you don't. And doing those intentional maintenance phases between your fat loss diets is what actually helps you keep your results long-term. Habit number 5 is one I have seen make the biggest difference, both in my own life and with almost every single client I have ever worked with. A lot of people ramp up their exercise when they decide that they want to lose weight. And in fact, that's the number one reason that people decide to work with me in the first place. So when they first start their journey, they feel super motivated and they'll start working out 2 to 4 days a week and adding in cardio wherever they can. And that will usually work for a little while until life gets busy, or one of the most popular ones is the weather gets nice, and then suddenly that all or nothing mindset kicks back in. Before they know it, they've taken a long break from almost any intentional exercise and they start regaining the weight that they just worked so hard to lose. And I totally get it because in the beginning of my journey, I also used exercise as a tool to lose weight. But I think the difference for me and probably many others is that I genuinely enjoyed training. When I first started working out, it honestly felt like a punishment, especially cardio. Like that was the thing that I thought was going to melt the weight off my body. But once I found resistance training, I genuinely fell in love with it and just became obsessed. And because I loved it so much, it was easy for me to keep showing up even when I wasn't actively trying to lose weight. That consistency has definitely been one of the biggest reasons that I've been able to maintain my results long term. And I've noticed the same pattern with my clients. The ones who keep actively showing up and training, even when their goal in that moment of time is not to lose weight, almost always maintain their weight loss significantly better than the people who just stop exercising altogether. We also have plenty of scientific research showing that exercise can help you maintain a healthy body weight. So it makes sense why these clients are so much more successful at keeping their weight off. If you've only seen exercise as something that you only do when you're trying to lose weight, I cannot recommend this enough. Find some sort of movement that you actually enjoy so that it feels sustainable to keep going even when the weather gets nice or life gets busy or you even reach your body weight goal. Maintaining a regular exercise routine is a really great predictor of keeping weight off, and it's one of the best things that we could do for our health long term. The biggest thing that I want you to take away from this video is that none of these habits are just for losing weight. They're also the exact habits that I've used to maintain my results, and they're the reason that I don't feel like I have to start over every time anymore. If you want your progress to last, the habits that you build while you're dieting have to be the same ones that you're willing to keep doing even when you're not actively trying to lose weight. As I always try to remind you guys, it doesn't have to be perfect, and it's probably not gonna look the same in every season of your life. But if you can shift your focus from perfection and more on the consistency aspect and build habits that you actually enjoy doing, then maintenance is gonna start to feel a lot easier and more sustainable for you. If you wanna learn how to implement a successful weight maintenance period and how you could use them to actually reach your goal body weight, then I want you guys to check out this video right here. In this video, I'm explaining the exact strategies that I have used with my clients to help them lose 100+ pounds and keep it off for good. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you on the next one.